March is Brain Injury Awareness Month.
Try to take my freedom, try to take my life. Try to say I'm nothing, but you can't take my pride. Tell me to back down, but still I rise. Just let me be great. Oh, just let me be great.
Lucas, I'm grade A, always no debate. You sprint to a finish, I two-step and D-race. Wrapped in love like the city of cheesesteaks. Sharp as speed skates, let me be great. Birth to create, make noise like Keisha. 2020 C straight.
Hello, my name is Jay Sean Gaddy, and welcome to the Voice of Brain Injury, where we bring you stories and insights about brain injuries and brain injury survivors community. I'm your host and also a brain injury survivor, Jay Sean Gaddy. Gaskins. The subject matter of this episode is something that wasn't on my radar when it first came to brain injuries, and that's domestic abuse. And these brain injury facts are alarming. Did you know 1 in 4 women have experienced domestic violence, with up to 90% having had at least one traumatic brain injury? Over 80% of survivors surveyed at a domestic violence service report abuse, including hits to the head and strangulation, which can lead to brain injury. Repeated TBIs can lead to lifelong brain impairment, including dementia and CTE. And also, domestic violence is the leading cause of injury to women, surpassing car accidents, muggings, and other forms of assault combined. These statistics highlight the need of awareness and support for survivors of domestic violence, particularly those who may have suffered from a TBI. I'm honored to shine a light on this issue during Domestic Violence Awareness Month with the help of my co-host, Larisha Poor. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for inviting me here today to be on your podcast.
All right. Before we dive in, I would love our viewers to get to know you a little bit better. Can you tell me a little bit about your title and your role that you serve during the Mecklenburg County government?
Sure.
In it? Sorry.
Yeah. So, again, my name is Larisha Poor, and I currently work at Mecklenburg County part-time with community support services. My role is social services specialist, but I help facilitate training for domestic violence survivors, as well as trainings for our Love Speaks Out program for Mecklenburg County, where we go into schools and actually partner with CMS to teach the curriculum on healthy and unhealthy relationships. One of the fun aspects of my job is that we have networking events that are quarterly, where we can meet with all those who have went through the training for Domestic Speakers Bureau. And we're able to collaborate together and learn about different things that help survivors go beyond just for surviving to thriving.
Wow, that is very interesting. All right, so now you're ready to take the reins as the host?
Yes.
All right, good deal. The floor is all yours.
All right, I'm super excited because I'm going to be interviewing multiple people, but today this is such a important subject that's dear to me as a survivor myself of domestic violence. I definitely don't take it for granted hearing other people's stories. And today I'm going to be interviewing Kyle Goodson. Hi, Kyle. How are you doing tonight?
Good evening, Larisha. I'm doing well, thank you, and so happy to be here. Can't wait for your question.
All right, good. We got a lot of them.
Oh, no.
So before we really get started, can you please tell me a little bit about your relationship and how it was impacted by domestic violence and the topic that we have today?
Certainly. 34 years ago, I met a man who I fell in love with. We got engaged, but then he started to act possessive, and I knew something was wrong. So I left him. And what people don't understand is that when you leave someone who's abusing you, it's called separation assault. And that is the worst thing that could happen to you, because separation assault means they're going to hurt you worse than ever, even kill you. And one day, the police, or I went to retrieve some of my items, thinking that he wasn't there, but he tricked me into coming back. So he met up with me and somehow got me back into our house. And I woke up in a coma the next day at Bridgeport Hospital intensive care unit. He had taken a bat and shattered my skull. So I live with a traumatic brain injury. And when women who are in domestic violence situations are with men who are abusive and they're physically abusive and they strangle them or they push them, pull them, grab their hair and stuff, they too can become victims of domestic violence or not so much domestic violence but traumatic brain injury.
Wow.
And that's a little bit about me.
Wow. First of all, thank you for being so vulnerable and transparent to share a piece of your story and how it impacted you. There's so many things about isolation, intimidation, the gaslighting to get you to come back to the house that really brings up an actual point here that, you know, you made it out, right? Yeah, I know you woke up in a coma from the situation that happened, but you made it out. And so I'm really happy that we're able to sit here today and talk to you about how this is an important subject. So how would you feel that this experience shaped your life or changed your life?
You know, it told me, or it has let me know that I'm a very strong woman. I had no idea how strong I was until this happened. But it also tells me that I'm nothing can keep me down, that I'm still looking forward to more, that even though I have this brain injury, it's not stopping me from getting goals and pursuing things. I'm not stopping it. Brain injury is not the end of life. It's not I just feel like, it's just a pause in my story. And I still have more to do, and I'm working toward writing my memoir, and I'm also doing some other things. So I'm really proud of the things. My legacy will be great one day.
Well, it's already great. Your legacy, you're already making major strides. It's very courageous. I often say to many survivors that every time you share your story, you get lighter and lighter. And that story can help other people be able to share and understand the experience. Even if they didn't go through the exact same experience, they can correlate it with something that has traumatically happened in their life.
Right.
So kudos to you. And I know that memoir is going to be wonderful.
Thank you.
Hopefully I can get a signed copy.
I'm working hard on it.
I also heard that you took part in the training of awareness and education around traumatic brain injury survivors and intimate partner violence yesterday.
I did. It was magnificent because there were about 50 people there. As a matter of fact, there was a waiting list. And people were coming in because there were no seats for them because they were not on the list.
Wow!
So they were coming in, standing there because they want to know about this thing. This is important. So it was really a nice day. I had to speak. I told my story, and I hope that I educated a lot of people and that they left understanding that brain injury and traumatic brain injury and intimate partner violence are inextricable. In other words, they're interwoven. When you have one, you're going to have the other.
Wow.
While he's dragging you around, banging you in the walls, you're going to get a traumatic brain injury.
Yeah, and I think, with the physical aspect of that, because that's the outer part, but you're sharing that it's long term. It's things that can affect you long term and it can shape your life. Is how you want to move forward past that. And you've done a really great job of explaining that this is just the beginning. You sharing your story, you being open and willing to let people inside so people can get up from the hard places that they may not be able to do. So what's one thing, that you would leave for someone who may be going through something like to encourage them?
I'd say never give up. I'd say that hope and not failure, but hope and lack of faith cannot exist in the same space. So you either have to have one or the other. And hope, don't let the other thing keep you down. You have to just keep striving for better. and don't and be proud of yourself. Look at what what you're left with. So see, when I woke up from that coma and I found out what happened, the first thing I did was see what I had left.
Wow.
And what I have left is what I'll use to do better.
I love that.
Some people can't say that, but for me, that's the way I move forward. What do I have left? And that's how I move on.
That's beautiful. So you shared a very uplifting story with us today, Kyle, and you have encouraged people, motivated people by sharing your story. What's one thing that you would say to someone who could be going through a similar situation?
I would say, look in the mirror and ask yourself, who am I? What do I have left? What can I give to this world? Even like with this, what do I have to give? Can I speak? What are my gifts? First of all, find your gift and then see what you can use your gift for.
All right. I love that. And I think everyone has a gift, one or two or many gifts to be used in every platform. And I really appreciate you for taking out the time to be on the show today to share awareness about domestic violence concerning the important topic of the brain injury. And we appreciate you coming onto this platform and being a part of Jay Sean's show today. And thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure. I enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. So you don't want to miss what's going to happen next. We have another riveting interview with someone who is another survivor of domestic violence concerning brain injury. And after the break, we'll be right back. So we will be able to interview that person and hear their story, who's going to positively impact everyone's life.
It's always been a part of me, but some could never see. This was my gift, told me to quit, but I wouldn't do it. To them I wasn't good enough, I had to tighten up. It never seemed fair, they never even cared, my wounds lay bare. But I'm coming back stronger now, so maybe even wonder how. From a downfall, but I stand tall, scars are no. No need to congratulate, when you try to regulate. I made a vow, I would make it somehow. It's not a comeback, it's a come up. And you can't tell me that I'm not good enough. It's not a comeback, it's a come up. And you can't tell me that I'm not good enough. Folks say you ain't got time. Time is of the essence. Time can be a blessing. Time is on my side. Time for me to get mine. What's meant to be will be. What's meant for me is for me. Wake up, it's time to grind. Time for me to shine. Now I got a new attitude, and I ain't tryna be rude. Tired of having to prove, paying my dues, fighting the blues. All the negativity that was thrown at me, it became a part of me, and now I can see it's all in a master plan. With the pen in a master's hand, stayed in my zone, bad to the bone, put me on my own. Coming to you like a cyclone, with a heart of gold, standing on my throne. It's not a comeback, it's a come up. And you can't tell me that I'm not good enough. It's not a comeback, it's a come up. And you can't tell me that I'm not good enough. Yeah, it's been way too long since I've said a word, since I sang a song. But now it's time for me to be, time for me to right my wrongs, time for me to tell my story. This is the come up of the underdog.
Hello and welcome back to the Voice of Brain Injury, and I'm Jay Sean Gaddy Gaskins. Since October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I wanted to highlight women who got their brain injuries due to domestic violence. And serving as the host of this episode is Larisha, a violence prevention specialist. How are you doing today? And Levy, and what exactly is, or what entails a specialist?
So, what I currently do at the county is that we connect survivors with resources who are in unhealthy relationships. And Mecklenburg has a whole lot of resources that are free to people in our community, and even some people who come from other communities travel to Charlotte if they're fleeing from their abusive partner to get resources. But one of the ones I really love to talk about is the 12 free counseling sessions that are available for young people starting the ages of 2 all the way through adult counseling. These are free of charge. And so it can be for group or family. And so that's part of the journey, providing a strategy, learning how to cope, how to move forward. And so I'm very thankful to work for an organization where we're able to see people's lives changing from their first session to their last session. It's the beginning of a new way.
That's great. That's excellent. All right, and so you ready to introduce the other guest?
I'm ready. I'm super excited for this next segment where we're going to be interviewing Monique Johnson. How are you doing today?
I am very well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm better because you're here, and we're going to talk about a very important topic tonight. As we know, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I'm going to be asking some different questions and just let it all out, because we need to be candid and let people know that this is impacting people every day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do you mind talking about your previous relationship?
No, I don't mind at all. The previous relationship was 4 years, 2014 to 2018. It didn't start that way. As typically they do not. But about maybe 2 to 3 months in was the first time I ever felt the first punch. He was very jealous and angry when he drank alcohol. And then, like, people can only wear the mask for so long, right? Then the real them starts to come out. So I went through a lot. I mean, head put through the wall, kicked in the head with steel-toe boot, double barrel shotgun put to my head and the trigger pulled, but the gun misfired. Thank the Lord. And as a result, it left me with a traumatic brain injury. So it was very, very rough. And this is a story I always like to tell this part. I got out because I had to have an emergency appendectomy. There was the last incident where he hit me and my back hit the doorknob. And when I got to the hospital, probably about 3 weeks later, because my mom said, "You look, something is not going, something is not right." Mm-hmm. So we went to the hospital, and the doctor did what he was supposed to do, and he was like, "You're going to have an emergency appendectomy, like, now. It's been leaking in your body for 3 weeks. You are septic." So after I had the emergency appendectomy, he's like, you're going to need somebody to care for you around the clock. And my mom said, "Well, you're going to have to stay here with me," because I had stairs in my house. And she's like, "I can't climb no stairs. You're going to have to stay at my house." She has a ranch-style home. So I stayed there with her, and it was just like a light bulb went off. And it said, if you don't tell it now, you're probably never going to get the chance to tell it again. So I told it, and that was the start of the healing journey, which I'm not all the way there, but it was the start.
So you're telling me that you hid this from your family?
I did for 4 years.
I think that's something that's very common with a lot of survivors. We'll sit with it. We'll think people are going to change. It's a one-off situation, or we're scared. We're fearful of what could happen to us. And we don't want to embarrass or cause shame on the family, because that doesn't happen over here, right? But, I'm so proud of you for finally telling your mother what actually happened to you. And even if it came from you having to have emergency surgery, that still took a lot of courage for you to say that. And you mentioned physical abuse, some of the things that he did. So will you share with us, like, physical versus mental abuse, like with domestic violence survivors? What, situations, what are some of the common things or the differences?
Well, I think both of them carry almost the same weight. But the mental stays with you for a long time. Like, you can see things and they're very triggering. Like, if you're blessed enough, the physical will heal itself. My body is healed from having surgery, but I could see somebody that looks like him and I'm triggered. I could, go to a place where I know he used to go and I'm triggered. Like, the mental, it takes a toll on you, and I don't think it's something that goes away overnight. It takes a lot of healing and, trying to talk to different people, psychiatrists, therapists, whoever you got to talk to, your friends, your family. And just to back up for a moment, the reason I did hide it, I was terrified. That's what kept me there for 4 years. Like, people don't understand, fear will hold you captive. And in my case, that's what happened.
Wow.
But yeah, your mental, I don't even know if it's possible for your mental to fully heal itself. I don't know, because I'm not there.
But you're on the path of doing it.
I am.
And I think for every survivor, even when you share your story, you're on a constant journey every day of your life of what you will and will not put up with, what you will or will not talk about. And it's becoming, you have to be able to feel safe, to be vulnerable enough to let people in to share that. Walls are developed for survivors. Right. So that leads me to my next question is, were there any like long-term effects that occurred or special medical care that you needed from this actual type of abuse that you experienced with your previous relationship?
Well, for me, I developed epilepsy. Now, I will say that it ran in my family, but I had gone 34 years without it. My paternal grandmother, she had it, but I went 34 years without it. But if you think about it, if your head is put through a wall enough, you're kicked in the head enough, you're choked till you can't breathe, anything that's in your brain is liable to be shaken up, right? So I had my first seizure around, I think maybe I was 35, 36, somewhere in there. I can't quite remember. But I will be on medication for the rest of my life. It's always possible to have a seizure. A seizure is not necessarily, it's not always what people think it is, like it's in the movie. Like, your memory is gone. You may just stare off into space. Your words may sound like jumble. Like, I'll be under a doctor's care, a neurologist's care for the remainder of my life.
Wow.
Rough.
It's heavy.
Very heavy.
So, was there like any challenges that you received to receive support, like medical support or support from organizations? Were there any challenges, and how did you navigate through that?
I did have, I would say my challenges were internal for me. When I had a big seizure, I had a grand mal. Like, I do not remember at all. All I remember is waking up in the back of the ambulance, and he says, "Welcome back." Welcome back from where? Where have I been? And, you go to the hospital. I had to stay in there for a few days. The doctor comes in with what for me was the worst news I had ever had. She tells me, you have right frontal lobe epilepsy and you're going to be on medication for the rest of your life. Well, for me, support of myself was, it was very challenging.
So I'm looking at a survivor, a warrior, a person who has overcame so many things. And, there has to be some type of coping strategies that you have now that you are on the other side of it and you're journeying through the healing. Can you share one or two of those?
One of my coping strategies that I actually just started is I'm writing a book. The name of the book is called 4 Cold Summers, since it was 4 long years, but they were cold.
Wow, that's powerful.
So that's one of the coping strategies. And every opportunity I get, I'm going to speak about it. And I'm also a singer, so I write a lot of music. I have one song that's called Enough, where you talk about being enough. And I kind of go into what happened. So those are the outlets that I use.
I love it. And I think every survivor needs to write a book. I think every person should write a book, first of all, because we all have something that we can share. Oh, but you sitting here today, being a part of this platform, being vulnerable, transparent, sharing and bringing awareness to brain injuries that can occur from domestic violence takes so much courage. And it's just like an honor to be in your presence, to be able to hear how you have overcome and that you're still working, the honesty of still working through it,
right.
And so I just want to congratulate you and let you know that you are appreciated, affirmed, and validated. And that means a lot. So we truly, truly enjoyed you being on the show today. Thank you for sharing time with us. And this won't be the last conversation.
I hope not. My goal is, if I could save one life, then I've done, my job. If I can prevent, male, female, it really doesn't matter. If I can save a life, that's what I want to do.
All right. I love that. That's all that counts. One conversation. All right. I'm handing it back over to you, Jay Sean.
All right, you did. Thank you so much. You did an amazing job. Amazing. So great. So thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And thank y'all for tuning in to the Voice of Brain Injury. And again, happy Domestic Violence Awareness Month. This is Jay Sean Gaddy Gaskins. And this is the Voice of Brain Injury signing off.
I can tell you now what I see standing in front of me.